people came armed this time. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eric Stinnet.
Good afternoon. Can I get some of my patriots to come down here in the front so I can see your faces? I want to talk directly to you. Come on down. Guys, I want you to take a look around you. Take a look at each other. Look at what you're doing today. Take it in, and I want you to smile. This is a big day, and I think it'll be viewed as a big day for a long time to come. I want to thank all the press that have come out to view this today. I want to thank all of you that have come to support this, and I want to thank the folks that have come to even to dissent. I think that you all understand. Freedom is for all of us. It's not for some of us, and it's not for government to take this or that freedom and parse them and dip them out and spoon them out to people. We must all be free. Whether they're people that we agree with, or people that we disagree with, or people that we like, people that we don't like. And especially for the folks that we don't like. I think too many people just don't understand this fundamental truth. We all have to be free, all of us. Right. Now, I'm going to take you on a journey through 3 points in time. I'm going to give you some things to think about. I'm going to ask you a few questions. In 1775, American colonists had suffered a long chain of insult and abuse from the British Crown. Increased taxation without representation, government meddling into all areas of their lives, Boston Massacre, and even quartering a standing army in their midst after the victory of the French Indian War. And after years of breathing to the crown and being ignored, these colonists were in no mood to suffer any more insults or abuse. So it was that on the night of April 18th, 1775, the group of colonists around Boston became aware that a large force of British Army regulars was moving out through the countryside to collect weapons, muskets, cannons, powder. I guess these days we'd call that making the streets safe, getting guns off the street. I'd call it stealing. Previously, the British Army had done this. There'd been no action, nothing to speak of. This time would be different. William Dawes and Paul Revere made a historic and valiant ride through the countryside at night and against British rules. And their message was, the regulars are coming. The British regulars are coming. Men woke up, grabbed their musket, grabbed their powder, grabbed their cap and ball, and they assembled, they organized. The British Army made their assaults in various locations. Each time, the colonists fell back. But at the third strike of the match, on April 19th, at the North Bridge, the colonists responded with deadly accurate fire. And they stood up to extraordinary men. They stood up to the best trained, best equipped, best supplied fighting force in the world. Now, I've left off a number of details here, but the truth is that they did more than just stand up. They routed that British Army. They hassled them and harried them all the way back to Boston. I've left off some details, and I may have gotten a few things wrong. I ask your apologies. Focus on the theme. September 11th, 2001. 4 aircraft were hijacked 3 of those were crashed into highly visible and highly valuable targets. One of them just down the road here. A number of Americans lost their lives that day. But the 4th aircraft had a different outcome. On board United Airlines Flight 93, the hijackers broke through the cockpit door. They attacked the flight crew with deadly force, and they dragged their bodies out into the cabin for all to see. The hijackers announced that they had a bomb, they'd be returning to the airport, and they'd list their demands. But the citizens on board that flight had to know, this is strange. Who kills the flight crew? Who attacks the flight crew and then says, we're going to list our demands? Wouldn't the pilot fly you anywhere you wanted to go? Which surely had to make them ask the question of themselves, where do they want to go? The citizens only had a short time to talk, so they called others to sound the alarm. But they were under attack. They called their families and said their last goodbyes. And they found out what had already happened that morning to 3 other airlines, and they knew what fate surely awaited them. So, they united. They planned. They armed. And they acted. And though they surely fought with valor, they weren't able to preserve their own lives. But they preserved a lot of lives over here. Will you remove your cover with me and let's honor these folks? Americans all. Thank you. Today is 2010, April 19th. It's been 235 years since the shot heard around the world. In the last several decades, liberty has suffered many abuses, many insults. For starters, we had to obtain a permit to assemble here legally. But has the National Park Service been pretty good to us today? Yeah. They set us up. Done very well by us. Well, someone asked me just a minute ago what I thought was unconstitutional. Here's a mercifully abridged list. Deep breath here. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, student loans, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, National Endowment for the Arts, FDIC, the Federal Reserve, Amtrak, school lunches, PBS, Goldman Sachs, Lehman Brothers, GM, Chrysler, and healthcare.
Yeah! Good start!
Mercifully abridged. Do those things need to be done? Do people need loans? Yeah. Does the government need to do it?
No!
That's all we're saying. Restore the Constitution. We can talk about the New Deal, we can talk about the war on poverty, the war on drugs, the war on illiteracy, the war on obesity. And we can talk about the 2005 Kilo decision against eminent domain rights. We've watched our government deny the right to life to the most defenseless among us, in the womb. And then thanks to this healthcare bill, they can decide when to stop providing you medical care. I presume when they deem your utility to have passed. The healthcare bill being 160,000 words is a mere 40 times longer than the U.S. Constitution. It's a little trivia I looked up. But make no mistake, this rally is not about guns. It is so much bigger than that. It is so much bigger than that.